Is Kyle Shanahan too tough on quarterbacks? I mean,
Yeah.
you said he rides them. I said he's negative. I mean, Kyle Shanahan swears. I mean, excuse me, Steve Young swears by Mike Shanahan, who was the same exact way. What do you think?
Again, I think there is a lot of he is tough on them, but I think it takes a special kind of quarterback. But he's looking for perfection, and I think that's what you. I'd rather have a coach who is that way with them than somebody who's just kind of letting things slide. And I think the way that he talks to them behind the scenes is different than the way that he talks to us about them. I think there's, a little bit, he's probably a little bit more positive. Even he's chewing their asses behind the scenes, but I also think he's kind of picking them up a little bit too. So is he too tough? No, I don't think he's too tough. I think again, I talked about the relationship between Parcells and Sims as an example. And I think it'd be interesting to see the dynamic, what that was like between Brady and Belichick. It seems like there was a little bit of friction at times there between those two. I think that they were able to get along, but I think some friction there. So it would be interesting. Is it too tough? I don't think he's too tough.
I think it's a trick question. I think it depends on the quarterback. I think it depends on the quarterback. Like let's say you put Tua on the Niners.
Yeah,
I wouldn't work. He would crush Tua. Tua seems like a gentle flower. Almost. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm a gentle flower too. I'm very sensitive. I hate criticism. I don't like it. I don't like honest feedback, although I take it all day on Twitter and I read it all. Thank you very much, everyone. But no, Tua, clearly, I mean, he got that from Brian Flores, who's a good coach, but he comes from the Belichick school and he wrote him, and Tua lost all confidence. And what Mike McDaniel did was give him confidence back. And so I think for Tua, you need a certain style. And for Brock Purdy, maybe he doesn't need Mike McDaniel showing him a bunch of clips about how good he is. Maybe he needs Kyle Shanahan to be like, dude, what about these 4 plays, please? Maybe that's what Brock needs.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It is a trick question, and it's good that we got it out there that you're a gentle flower, Grant. That was.
I was an English major. I read poetry in college.
But yeah, no, I think it is a little bit of a trick question because it does depend on the player, and I think you've talked about this in the past with Alex Smith. Right? When Alex Smith and when Jim Harbaugh came, what did he do? He talked him up like crazy. He got him.
That's what he needed. That's what he needed. He did not need Kyle Shanahan at that point in his career. He needed Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah. And I think it's just a matter of the player and the coach meshing. It's part of the whole process that goes into picking that guy.
I'd love to hear what Donovan McNabb would have to say to this question. Donovan, is Kyle Shanahan too hard on they only worked together for 1 year, but I think Donovan felt he was straight up disrespectful to him.
It would be interesting. Yeah, it would be interesting to hear what he says about Kyle Shanahan and maybe even comparing him a little bit to like Andy Reid, right? I don't know if maybe he's already said some things about that. But
Andy Reid seems pretty positive, like kind of like a affable grandpa type. Like, we're all having fun here. Yeah,
that's what he portrays, right? It'd be interesting to see what
is he really like? Yeah. Yeah, because it seems like what Kyle does, he's tough on quarterbacks, and if he gets a quarterback who's a perfectionist like him, like Steve Young was a perfectionist, it could work. But it seems like you kind of constrict their creativity. Like Andy Reid allows Patrick Mahomes to throw interceptions and be himself and doesn't ride him at all. All he does is make sure that he's the most confident player at all times. And there's something to be said for that. Like, do you really need to be checking your best player's confidence? Like, don't you want him to have an ego? Like, is your ideal quarterback really Kirk Cousins? Come on, because Kirk Cousins he's meek. That's almost his problem, right? I mean, look, he like walks around like he doesn't even believe in himself. Is like, come on, Kirk, have some swagger, Kirk.
Hey, what are you talking about? He's got the gold chains and all that.
Yeah, right. Which was so funny because it was so not phased. Why is hilarious, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. His perfectionism, it's like a gift and a curse. It's like you gotta let the quarterback go out and be. I don't know.
You gotta let them go out and be their guys, and that's again. I think
gotta let them do it. Yeah,
I think it goes back to having a quarterback though who has enough of that belief in themselves so they can do it. Like they can make you think that they're listening to every word you're saying, and they can.
But really, they're tuning out all the negativity, all the bullshit, all the shit that's not helpful, and taking in the stuff they need.
Yeah, or they're able to just to hear it, and they're able to say, "Okay, I hear you."
Yeah,
and this is how, but I'm still going to do it my way. But I know that how I can fix it, kind of thing. But I'm not going to
hurt my feelings. You can compartmentalize it.
That's
compartmentalize it.
Doesn't hurt his feelings.
I can't do that. Yeah, I can't do that shit.
Yeah,
when I played, I was so bad. I wasn't coachable. I would take everything personally. I was a bad athlete, but I was fast. Well, so I would always trick the coach and give me playing time, but then I wouldn't play well because I wasn't a good athlete.
Hey, but you're fast. You're able to get.
I was fast. I could run. I could have been a good soccer player if I was, if I was dedicated. And, sorry, Coach Pete.
Yeah, but you're fast and you're able to kick the ball.
I could kick it a little bit. Not that great though. Not really. Most people that play soccer like have foot skills and stuff. Like if you gave me a soccer ball, I couldn't juggle 3 times. It was embarrassing. I didn't own a soccer ball in high school. Like really took varsity sports very seriously. Let me say something about being an English major before we sign off. I think there's something to be said for being an English major. Yeah, you got to read poetry and a bunch of like Shakespeare and stuff, and maybe it's a little weird, but you're the only guy in the class. Think about it. Only guy in the class. Good time. You want to be an engineer? You will be. There might be one girl in that class. Actually, I don't know. I was never an engineer. I don't know, but I just think you could do worse.
See,
you do worse.
Got to tune into Grant for some
life advice. Sure. Yeah. Also, poetry short. History textbooks very long. Something to think about.